and sound this time. All right. Hey, Rosie, can you hear me? Hey, Rosie, can you hear me now? I was just getting on just a little early today so that I could be sure I had sound, so that I didn't do something goofy like last time. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me talking. Okay, Judy can hear me, so that's a good sound. Hopefully everyone else. Yay! All right, well, I'm going to prevaricate for just a few seconds since I'm a couple minutes early. I want to give people a chance to get on. I did want to let you know that there's going to be another video this afternoon. Assuming I get done about 1:30, I'm going to go live again at 2 to give you a little looky look at the March 2026 online exclusives that I'm busily collating for you so that I can give you a perfectly curated sneak peek at it. But I'm also going to be giving you a little sneaky peek in this one of a brand new tool that I think maybe you're gonna like. I'm not sure. With a show of hands that I can't see, of course, how many of you miss your Stamparatus, or as I like to call it, your Stampopotamus? If you did, I'm about to make you pretty happy. Okay, so stand by. We'll go ahead and get started. It looks like we're so close to 1 o'clock that we might as well be 1 o'clock. And yes, Judy, I am in fact going to demo the positioner. I will do it on this one because I can use it to just stamp our sentiment on here, and then we can look at it again when I demo the March online exclusives. Now, to be clear, the positioner is not a March online exclusive. It is an exclusive product for people who join Stampin' Up! Between the 3rd of February and the 2nd of March. That is going to be a joining special that we have, and it will be the only way to get the positioner for the time being. They have told us that customers will be able to get the device at some point in the future, but they have not told us when at this point. Right now, demonstrators can pre-order it. So if you are a demonstrator, I highly recommend that you grab it if you have any interest at all, especially after you see how it works today, because once the pre-order ends on the 2nd of February, you won't be able to get it until it goes live to customers again. So be taking a look at it, and if you're interested in it, you should grab it now if you're a demonstrator, and if you're interested in it and you're not a demonstrator, plan to join around the 3rd of February so that you can get it for free with your starter kit. Okay, so here's our card today. I am using a couple of stamp sets today. I've got the Joyful Squares bundle. Now this is kind of one that looks a lot like it should be for scrapbooking, and I suspect that's what it was designed for, but I've made a little fun fold card today. I'm calling this a front Z-fold card, which I think is very apropos since here's a Z-fold and, you know, it's on the front of a card. Okay, so, but I can already tell I'm going to need to add a little bit. Oh, I have paper right there, so that's good. So I used I also used the Boardwalk Fun stamp set only for this birthday sentiment right here. That's the only thing I used it for, but it's a great birthday sentiment and I really like it. This is actually a partial sentiment from Joyful Squares, and then we've got a couple of other things that I think you're going to like. So it's a fun little card. It's a fun little stamp set, and I think let's go ahead and get it going. You don't need to take notes or anything. It'll all be on the blog Tamale. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is tease you a little bit by putting the positioner where you still can't see it so I can get it out of my way. And we're going to get my trimmer out with the arm open. So the way this card works is you have a flat card base of 4 1/4 by 5.5, 4 1/4 by 5.5, kind of normal. And then the Z-fold card itself is 3 1/4 inches wide and 9 3/4 inches long. So basically, your math is whatever this height is, your length is 3 times that. And then you're going to score twice at the same distance that your height is. Why did I tell you that? Because depending on what you want to put on the front of your Z-fold, you can modify it and play with it a little bit to make the size a little bigger. Okay, so now you know the math. Mine, I wanted to be able to get a little bit of the DSP in, so I needed it to be 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, hence the measurements that I have here. So we're first going to score at 3 1/4 inches, and then another 3 1/4 inches is 6 1/2. So we will score right there. And that's about it for the fun fold. That's it right there. Hey, Rosie and Janice and Carol, I appreciate you guys coming. Hey, Marva. And then you're just going to fold this as a Z fold, like so. See how it looks like a Z? Or a backwards Z, or whatever that is. And then you're going to want to go ahead and give it a little burnish, like a so. And then I've got a few pieces of the Square Snippets DSP ready to go. Now this DSP is really fun. It's got kind of a geometric pattern on the back. This one has some flowers with petal pink, basically. And then there's also some that have the blue tint that's in here. But on the other side, you can get a whole bunch of 3 inch by 3 inch and 4 inch by 4 inch and some larger squares that you can cut out. So this one was, it was 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. I cut it down to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and I'm going to adhere it to what will become the front of my Z-fold. Hey, Daryl. Hi, Shirley and Doris. Hey, from Broomfield, Colorado, right up the street from where I grew up in Arvada. In fact, my horse spent many of his last years at a little farm in Broomfield, right up around the corner. I don't know if it was McIntyre or 58 that made that curve and then went over to the Rocky Flats depot there. He was right by the train track. Okay, so I've just got this adhered to the front of my card. Okay. And while we're busy adhering, let's go ahead and adhere our center piece and our back. This is another piece of the snippets. You can see it's got some oranges and pinks. So it's going to be petal pink and pumpkin pie, or peach pie, sorry. We'll just put that on like so. And yes, it does look a little different measurement-wise than this, but just wait a second, we'll get there. Now, I will tell you ahead of time, I am going to have to go off screen a couple of times to make some cuts, but I'll try to make it as efficient as possible. Because I know now what you want. Now all you can think about is, when is she going to show us the positioner? Well, stand by, because we're getting close. We're getting real close. Okay, so there's the beginning of our little doohickey. We can now put this piece on. You can see it is smaller. So this is 3 by 3. And we'll adhere that with a little liquid glue, and then we're going to do a little bit of stamping and cutting. Okay. I think my husband is outside running equipment so that it's got a little exercise going before it gets cold, because we are fixing to be in the teens over the weekend, I think. Of course, it's nothing like everybody else is getting. I'm sorry, I'm also stalling a little bit, so I need to take a drink. Okay, so let's go ahead and set that aside. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece right quick, because I do need a back. I don't think I cut a back. Let me double check that I didn't already cut a back, so that I'm not cutting another back. Oh, look, looks like I did. To be sure this is right. Yep. Okay, so here's our back. Okay, so I don't need to cut this. What I'm going to do is, this Joyful Squares image is a pretty little square with some filigree, and I am going to stamp it twice on this paper right here. Both times in Strawberry Slush. We'll have one for the front and one for the back. Then I'm going to pull out the die set for Joyful Snippet, or Joyful Squares, sorry. Square Snippets is the DSP, Joyful Squares is the bundle. Okay, so we just used this stamp, and I'm going to use this outline to cut out the squares. And on one of them, I'm going to also use this circle to cut out the middle and make a window. Okay, so stand by. Don't give up on me now. I'll be back in just a second. Don't give up on me, baby. You'll be glad to know I did already do a little bit of heat embossing and die cutting, so you won't have to sit through me doing that. Okay. First one running through. All right, so there's going to be the front. I'll leave that there, I don't need that. And then we'll do the second one with no circle. It does not want a circle. It does not want a circle. It does not. No, 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 it does not. All right. All right, and let's put this back so I don't lose it. Now, to make our card front, what we're going to do is I'm going to pop this up. I'm going to put it like that. I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals on the card front. Hey, Rosemary, I appreciate you coming. I'm glad to see that you are a demonstrator already. Whereabouts do you live? I'm just going to put 4 of these. It's not going to get a lot of play, so we don't need to get it overly carried away here. Hello, Linda from Idaho. You made it back just in time from the grocery shopping. I hope you don't have anything frozen that you didn't put away or leave on the front porch where it's freezing anyway. Okay, so we're going to adhere this as straight as I can make it. I've discovered that my eyeballs are a little crooked these days. I don't know what in the heck is going on. I really don't. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to its mat. This is a piece of strawberry slush, and it is 3 3/8 by 3 3/8, which makes sense since this is 3 1/8, or 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So we'll adhere that with some liquid glue. See if we can get it on there kind of straightish. Like I said, my eyeballs apparently are no longer calibrated to straight. I think everything's straight, and then I look at it in the camera lens and I take a picture, and it's like, what in the world? Hey, Marietta, California. Nice. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and adhere. I did a little bit of ahead of time. There's a piece of the Square Snippets DSP. Can you kind of see that? It's got a really, really faint background on it. Really, really faint. Mostly it's in strawberry slush. So I stamped the little leaf image 3 times with Versamark ink, sprinkled it with white embossing powder, and heat set it with my heat tool. Now, normally I would have done that for you, but I feel like you guys kind of you'd really rather, see something else. I don't know, maybe like, a positioner? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and adhere these little leafy doos. I'm going to put this guy right here, and we're going to do a little fussy cutting. I'll apologize ahead of time. We are going to do a little fussy cutting on this card. This one had a die. These have a die, so you don't have to fussy cut them. That's good news. So that's a good news right there. Okay. Now, on a piece of basic white, oh look, I have a piece right here. How handy. I'm going to stamp this little heart image right here in Strawberry Slush. Hello, Danette. Appreciate you coming. Not late at all, not to worry. We're going to stamp him right there. And then I'm going to cut out that large one. Okay? With my scissors. This is the only fussy cutting, if you don't count the envelope flap, which I don't. I don't even think that qualifies as fussy cutting, my personal self. This is fussy cutting, a little bit, but not very hard. But always take the time to do a good job and to practice good fussy cutting technique, which means you're going to turn the paper with the hand holding the paper. You're not going to turn the scissors. Can you see what I'm talking about? I am turning the paper, not the scissors. And you keep the paper right up against the fulcrum versus way out here. Now you can come out here every once in a while if you really need to because of a real tight spot, but when you're just doing basic outlining like this, you want to keep your scissors and the paper as close to each other as possible. Okay, so we're going to make a little bow with some baker's twine of the white variety. And then I'm adhering this with a little bit of liquid glue. Why? Because when I use liquid glue, it's less thick than when I use a glue dot. Okie doke? Oh, well, that's all right. You don't have to do YouTube if you don't want to. Not even. That is so not a requirement. All right, so we're going to put this right about here. Little dab of liquid glue. And adhere that guy right over the top of him like that. Now, of course, liquid glue has a little bit of persnickety in it. It would be an orange cat if it was a cat. So I'm going to let that set for just a hot second, and while it is, let me put on a couple of these Strawberry Slush gems. So this, I'm procrastinating again, face it, because I'm waiting for that glue to dry. So we'll put a gem there. And a gem there. And we're going to put another couple of gems. We'll put another gem down here. And maybe another gem here. And then I'm going to have another gem on a couple of more gems on the card front, okay? So now that that glue has sort of done its thing, let's put a dimensional. If you used a glue dot, I feel like you would probably need a double stack there. And this card has got plenty of thickness. So you probably don't need any extra by having double stacked Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay. All right. We have reached the place. Oh, wait, no. I can still procrastinate one more second. Hang on. Let's go ahead and do the back panel. I'm going to, this is the stamp in this set. It says love these days. I'm not going to use all of these days. I'm going to use just love. Hello, Susan. I appreciate you coming. And I'm going to stamp, I'm going to ink up just the love. And you can do that because there's enough room between love and the next sentiment down. And you can see it really good because it's photopolymer. And then we're just going to stamp it right in the middle. Right in the middle, like that. Okay, all right. And I'll adhere that to the back, and then I'm going to pull out that positioner, okay? I promise this time, no more bait and switch. Nope, no more bait and switch for you. I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. All right, so let's see if we can make it straight. Okay, now we'll put that aside, and I'm going to get the positioner out. Are you ready? Is anybody doing a drum roll? I feel like someone should be doing a drum roll. Okay, let's move out a little bit of a stuff. Okay, now I did play with this ahead of time, so I feel like I'm at least 40% good with it. So if I bork this, do not blame the positioner, okay? Blame the operator, which would be moi. Okay, so when you get your positioner, you are going to have the plate, which is the positioner itself. On the back is this is a foam mat. So that means if you're using like a glass mat, the Glass Mat Studio, or a slick surface, it's not going to slide around, which is pretty handy. We've got two nice magnets here. And if you recall from the Stamparatus, you always spent a little time worrying about whether you were going to get them too close to each other and make it hard to get them apart. Because of the way they have packaged these, they will still stick together, but you can just twist them apart easier because they don't have quite as much surface area to touch each other. And they've also got these little covers on them. So when you put it down on your mat, you're going to put it with this side up with the less part of the magnet showing. And then you can just reach right under this little flap and pick it right up. Easy and also peasy. Okay, so you're going to get two of those. Now this paper right here is a separate purchase. It does not come, yes, I did get it fast. I may or may not have paid for overnight shipping. I was anxious, okay? Don't judge me, don't judge me. But you can purchase this separately. The Stampin Positioner, that's its official name, the Stampin Positioner, was $49. And then this pack of paper, I believe, was $15, okay? But of course, if you're a demonstrator, you're going to get your 20 to 25% discount on that. So that brings it down, and I think you're going to get a lot. All right, now here's the part that does the work. This is the top plate. You have two holes in one side, and then on the other side, you have these little feet doohickeys. And these little feet doohickeys are what's going to help you stamp. These little pegs that the plate sticks in are also little floppy doohickeys. So what happens is you place this down after you have everything in place. Nothing is touching. While you have it here like this, nothing is touching the surface where you're stamping. Okay, so no stray stamps going around, none of those things, okay? So you're going to do this, and then you're going to position it, and you're going to push down, just like that. You will also get a smaller panel that you can use in these little pegs right here. And it does the same thing, but you can tile with this. So you could stamp an image here and then move it down and stamp an image there and do that as many times as you want. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we can make here. What I want is I have a piece of my DSP, and you can, if you want, put your cardstock or whatever you're stamping on your panel and magnetize it down. But what they recommend, what I saw recommended, and what I think will work pretty well for you after your brain gets past the, oh my goodness, I'm doing this crookedy. Yeah, you're doing it crookedy, but it's for a good cause. Can you see right there, there's an outline of a corner? What they recommend, and this helps to stabilize your panel, is that you place it so it's between these two. See these little pegs that my paper is stuck on? These two are further apart, right? They've designed it so you can put your paper in there and line that corner up with that imprinted engraved corner on the ruler. All right, so all you got to do is put it in there like so, bump it right against those little pegs, and then I put on some magnets because I got them. Then you can just turn you don't have to play with it like this. That would be silly. Turn your positioner so that you are straight to your cardstock or your paper. In this case, this is a piece of the square Snippets DSP, okay? And then you're going to position your sentiment, and we want it right about there. Let me make sure that's about where I want it. So that's going to go right there. Yep, that looks good to me. Okay, now, you ready for the magic? Okay, we're going to place this on and line it up with the two pegs right here. Still not touching anything, okay? I'm not touching anything. I mean, this panel is not touching the bottom plate at all. I'm going to do a quick pick, and then you may find that you have picked up more than just the stamp because it may stick to your cardstock. That's fine. Why? Because you know where it's supposed to go. So you can just kind of snug it right back in where it goes. And then it's time to ink. And I'm going to ink it in the Pretty Peacock as soon as I find that stamp pad. Where did you go? Oh, there you are. You're okay, Karen. You can go back and watch the review. And I'm going to do a sneak peek of the online exclusives at 2 o'clock. And possibly I'll be able to take another minute to demo this again. Oh, we should probably put it on straight. Okay. So I'm placing that down. See, I'm still not touching my cardstock. So I can double check it's where I want it. Double check. Looks good to me. And now we're just going to press and pick up. And I have a perfect image. But if I didn't, just make sure it's back in where I want, place it on here, and stamp it again. Easy peasy. All right, so that's the positioner kind of in a nutshell. So let me take this up and we'll go ahead and finish up our card. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I like it. And I'm looking forward to kind of exploring its possibilities a little bit more. So, all right. So we're going to now adhere this to our Pretty Peacock card base. Like so. Hopefully straight. And then this guy is going to go sort of centered up near the top. And then we can just do a quick back and we'll be ready to go. Okay, let's try to get this straight. Get it straight, get it straight. Straight, straight, is it straight? Are you straight? You could have a whole musical by Rodgers and Hammerstein about the straightness of your card base. Okay, so there we go. There's the front of our card done. Now, I have just to make the back, I didn't put any more sentiments, but I took this little corner die. No, it's not a die, it's a stamp. Still a stamp. It's not a die. It will never be a die. All right. Thank you, Susan. I like the colors myself. I'm just going to stamp this little corner in the corners all the way around. In Strawberry Slush. Sorry, I could not talk right then. I had to hold my tongue just right. Okay. And then we'll adhere this to the back. Then all we got to do is a quick envelope and we'll be done ski. And then I'm going to go unlive for however long there is between when I unlive and when I go live at 2. And I'll give you a little sneaky peek at the online exclusives. That is so not the right size. Oh my gosh, Mary. Mary, 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 quite contrary. I knew I should have cut another piece. I don't think my other piece is big enough. Hang on a second, I got to do it again. Got to do it again. Because I'm a Dorcas, Mr. Ted. All right, let's make sure this is right. Yeah, that's more better. Okay, so shall we stamp it again? Ah. Okay, so let's try 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now you guys saw me measure this one, so it's going to be right when I stick it on, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I will be back at 2 today, and then I'll be back again on Saturday at 7 p.m. with another card. Don't know what it's going to be, but it's something I hope you'll like whatever it is, whatever it is that I come up with. Okay, so there's our card. We're going to stamp the little hearts on the front of the envelope. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to stamp the heart on the front. I was looking to see if I had any questions. I think you do want this one, Shirley. It's pretty good. We're just going to stamp the little double heart on the front. And then I cut some of the paper with the, we're going to use the grid side for our envelope flap. And one more little fussy cut, and we'll be done. Now, this is a little bit thicker card, so you probably will need a little extra postage, but I think it'll be okay. It'll be worth it. I got a little glue there, so let me get that gone. Y'all, if you don't have a rubber eraser, just buy 3 of them. They're the handiest things on the planet. Get them right off of Amazon. Heck, if you got Prime, you can probably get you a pair tomorrow. They're the best. And get you a sand eraser at the same time for those annoying little ink smudgies. The annoying little ink smudgies. Okay, so there you go. A front Z-fold card. That's what I called it. That makes sense to me. Let's cut that off. That's a little too much. Oh, I wanted to put some more of those gems because they're so pretty. Why wouldn't I have more gems? Why wouldn't I have more gems? More gems, please. We need more gems. Never too many gems. At least not in Mary's world. Okay, there we go. All right. So there you are. All right, it is 13:28. I will be back at 1400. That's military time for 2 p.m. Eastern with a sneak peek at the March online exclusives. Hope you've enjoyed the card, and I hope you'll give it a try. It's a great fun fold. Thanks, y'all. See you in a little bit. Ta.